So there's been a lot of talk about what stage GTA 6 is actually in its development cycle. So in today's video, I want to go through what we know so far about the stage of development for GTA 6, and it may surprise you. So this video will contain a mixture of hard facts and speculation, but throughout this video, I'll make it as clear as I can which is which. For everything we discuss in this video, we're going to use what we know from the 2022 Grand Theft Auto 6 Project Americas leaks, Rockstar's official channels, and Rockstar's hiring history, alongside Rockstar's previous patterns for prior releases. So let's start off with where development started. Now in 2022, Jason Schreier reported that supposedly writing had begun back in 2014. And when we say writing, it was probably more realistically pre-conceptualizing what the game would be based on, figuring out who the main protagonists were, all of that sort of stuff. Now back then, the game was internally called Project Americas, because the original plan was to have Vice City, Leonida, aka Florida, and the South Americas. Now the main reason that these particular locations were chosen can probably be attributed to the various trade that happens between Miami and the South Americas. I don't need to say what that product is. Now during early development, the plans for the game were changed. Rather than including the South Americas, Rockstar chose to focus on Miami and the surrounding areas. The main reason this has been speculated is being simply due to the scale and scope of such a huge undertaking of doing both North America and the South Americas. From what we can assume, Rockstar probably wanted to make this perfect rather than all of this average. We also heard from Jason Schreier in this 2022 report that Rockstar is looking at making GTA 6 expand and evolve over time, so potentially we'll be able to head to the South Americas for DLC in the future. Now we will go into all of the importance of this information, but firstly I want to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, Raycon. Raycon's everyday earbuds are your perfect partner for the gym, work or phone calls, offering premium audio that goes where you go. Now their latest model is better than ever, with a 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair to multiple devices at once. These earbuds also come with active noise cancellation, which at this price point is hard to find, but not with Raycon, which starts at just half the price of other premium audio brands. Raycon's everyday earbuds are also available in a variety of vibrant colors. For me, I absolutely love this blue color. Now one of my favorite features of the everyday earbuds is that 10 minutes of charging gives you 90 minutes of battery life. And if for some reason you don't fall in love with your Raycons, they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. So go to buyraycon.com/cyberboy to get up to 20% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 20% off everything on Raycon's website, including 20% off all headphones too. So go to buyraycon.com/cyberboy. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the video. So why is this change in development plans for GTA 6 so important? Well, it comes down to where GTA 6 is today, and more particularly, what we can actually define as finished. It's very likely GTA 6 has been playable for a year or two at this point, maybe even longer, but a recent interview went up and was promptly taken down with a former Rockstar developer, Mike York. He reaffirmed that GTA 6 is probably playable from start to finish. Now, I'm not 100% sure why this interview was taken down, because in my opinion, this is obvious. Rockstar are employing games testers at the moment, and they have been for the past year. I think one of the reasons that maybe this interview was taken down was due to Mike saying that they were playtesting the game in-house, and he went into a bit more detail about how he was involved in that process. Maybe that sort of info was a breach of NDA, but who knows? Now, to really understand what state GTA 6 is in at the moment, we need to look at a very basic step-by-step of what will be involved in actually making GTA 6. Now, I do need to say that this process here is a very oversimplified version of what games development looks like. There's probably about 1,000 steps involved. This is probably the grassroots summary, the easiest summary that I could find for the sake of this video. Now, we can say that planning was probably starting in 2014. Pre-production would probably have been 2015 to 2019. Production will probably have been 2018 to probably mid last year. And testing would have probably been from 2018 until now. Now, as you can see from this process isn't linear. There's always overlap between the processes, because some areas of pre-production, for example, are still being worked on when full-scale development's been worked on other areas of the game. But the key area in all of this is testing. Testing is a really interesting part of games design, because it's not about, is this mission good? That stuff's figured out very early on. The actual question is, How can players break the game? Ben Hinchliffe, a former Rockstar developer, spoke about this in an interview he did with GTA 6 o'clock, wherein he stated that the biggest part of his job was trying to break the game. He used an example in Red Dead Redemption 2 where you have to jack a stagecoach, but they ended up having to design a whole new settlement in Red Dead Redemption 2, complete with houses and farmland and stuff like that. They had to do all of this just in case the person decided to not steal the stagecoach at the roadside and decided to follow it instead. So of course they needed somewhere for it to go, and they obviously needed a gun battle to ensue. Now with this one little activity leading to a full-scale development of a whole new settlement in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can imagine with the amount of activities, missions and side quests in GTA 6, how far they'll have to go to imagine every single possible way that we can break the game by not following the missions correctly. But then there's the other side of the issue, glitches. Now glitches are an important part of games. We can use them to our advantage, and more often than not they create funny and iconic moments in the GTA series. However, sometimes glitches, when not managed properly, can actually ruin the playing experience. So Rockstar will be working round the clock fixing bugs and glitches in the game. Maybe they'll decide to leave some in there that are harmless and a little bit funny, on the off chance that maybe perhaps one day we find them. But anything that will affect the playability or the smoothness of the game will be fixed, assuming that Rockstar can even find it. And I say this because even now, nearly 12 years on from when GTA 5 was first released, we're still hearing about new bugs, glitches and exploits, most of which are being used by the speedrunning community, and I'm sure you can imagine the trillions of hours of playtime GTA 5 has had from everyone over the past, well, over a decade now. So Rockstar, with their relatively small team compared to the customer base, are trying to do as much playtime as possible to seek out all of these issues. It is impossible for them to find every single issue, but they've at least got to make sure they tackle the big ones. I don't think there's any way to accurately portray how monumental of a task this is. It takes years with thousands of people. So whether the game comes out this year or gets delayed until next year, we'll have to wait and see. Either way, the game is probably finished, and they'll just be cleaning up. Now this often raises the question, and it's not something that I've actually directly addressed on the channel before. What about Rockstar announcing the game has begun active development in 2022? I mean, this alone on surface value pretty much debunks every statement that we've just said about the development timeline for GTA 6. Because by the looks of things from this tweet, it looks like Rockstar only began development in 2022, right? Well, there's a few key reasons for them saying this, and one of the biggest reasons is security. Prior to active development, the pre-planning and location scouting is by far the easiest way for information to get leaked. Rockstar controlling what happens in the four walls of their offices versus controlling leaks from happening with thousands of people on the streets doing the footwork is a whole different game altogether. So realistically, active development began years prior to them announcing it, but they of course decided to announce it when pre-planning for every area of the game had come to an end. So this meant in 2022, everyone at Rockstar was getting moved on to GTA 6, with maybe a small team for GTA Online, which is the way it remains today. But prior to 2022, it's still fair to assume that a large amount of the people at Rockstar were working on GTA 6. I think this all comes down to the loose definitions of active development. So hopefully that clears that up a little bit. So I hope you found today's video enjoyable, and if you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be live streaming the Take-Two earnings calls so you can keep up to date with what's happening with Take-Two, Rockstar and GTA 6. So turn on post notifications to make sure you don't miss a live stream. And of course, a massive thank you to Raycon for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one.